Welcome to the first ever video for the Beer Bastards. I know I said this was going to be a review, but I decided in light of the date to do something different. Today is December 5th. So what? It's a Wednesday, just like any other Wednesday. That's where I say, wrong. Today is actually an invisible holiday, at least as far as I'm concerned. If there is one drinking holiday the United States should celebrate, and frankly needs to celebrate, it's not St. Patrick's Day or Cinco de Mayo. I feel like it's up to me, as well as you guys, the viewers here, to spread the word. It's National Repeal Day. What exactly makes this holiday so important? Well, it's the day that this country repealed the prohibition laws, making this guy legal again. Prohibition's roots began in 1893 with the formation of the Anti-Saloon League. This organization was found in Oberlin, Ohio, with the sole purpose of promoting prohibition. Their arguments were that alcohol was a social deterrent, made people violent, and pushed citizens into poverty. It took them 2 years to gain any actual attention. However, their momentum skyrocketed in 1913 when they moved into Columbus, Ohio, and gained support from several churches and other organizations that reflected their cause. One organization in particular was the Women's Christian Temperance Union. Ironically, this union was especially violent, setting fires to establishments, defacing properties, etc. This became what is now known as the temperance movement. All of this rallying and the demonstrations gained the Senate's attention. They drafted the 18th Amendment. This would force the nation to ban the consumption, exporting, importing, and manufacturing of alcoholic beverages. The state and House of Representatives both passed this with respective votes of 65 to 20 and 282 to 128 in favor. But in order to become law, this bill required ratification within a year, otherwise they would just kind of crumple it up and throw it in the trash. Unfortunately, 23 of the then 48 states had already adopted some form of prohibition, even going as far as making some alcohol completely illegal. 46 states in all ratified the 18th Amendment, with Connecticut and Rhode Island being the only states to reject it. This seemed to be a positive direction for the country. People noticed that there were less hospitalizations, less people were getting arrested, and there were less drunks roaming the streets. All in all, the citizens of this country at the time were relieved at all of this. Unbeknownst to them, this gave rise to a new beast. Saloons that originally rejected women now allowed them in. These women became known as the infamous flappers in nightclubs and speakeasies that popped up all over the place during the Great Depression. In turn, this garnered more attention for male patrons. This also inadvertently created an underground liquor market, allowing crime mobs and mafias to profit, spawning the likes of one Al Capone. But worst of all, people began distilling substances such as perfumes, paints, and other chemicals to make bathtub gins. In the end, tens of thousands of people were arrested and underwent trial for all of this bootlegging. However, only 60% of these federal arrests actually ended up with successful convictions due to juries being flat out riddled with liquor consumers. This all continued until the year 1932. On December 6th, Wisconsin Senator John Blaine submitted what would then become the 21st Amendment. This amendment was in direct opposition of the 18th Amendment. Upon being ratified, it would completely disregard all aspects of the 18th Amendment and allow liquor as a whole to be legal once again. It even banned the persecution of anyone in direct violation of prohibition laws. Additionally, Franklin D. Roosevelt ran a chunk of his campaign on repeal of prohibition, ultimately winning the 1932 presidential election. As such, the Senate followed suit and passed the repeal laws. 38 states ratified the amendment, 2 states remained in opposition. South Carolina flat out rejected it, and North Carolina didn't even want to hold a convention on the topic. Georgia, Kansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Oklahoma took no action on the matter. Despite the inaction and opposition, the act passed. It then became up to each state and municipality to then set their own laws on consumption without ban. So there you have it. The 21st Amendment was officially ratified on December 5th of 1933, ending Prohibition. Rejoice, citizens of the United States of America. You can thank Wisconsin and good old FDR for allowing the consumption of alcohol once again. And hopefully you all enjoyed this video. If you liked what you saw and heard, feel free to like and subscribe. If you want updates on videos or projects we have going into the future, follow us on Twitter at @TheBeerBastards. Also, friend us on Untappd.com as The Beer Bastards. That way, you can check what beers we've reviewed, featured, and how we rate them. Those links are down below. If you haven't seen my intro video, please check it out. Leave any comments and feedback you have below, as well as any beers you would like to see us feature. Remember, stay thirsty.